As you can see, I'm trying something different, a whole new camera angle. Hopefully, you like it. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I'm at 1,003 subscribers. That's crazy that 1,003 people would subscribe to this channel and some people will listen to what I say. It's crazy how you get so many subscribers over time, but people don't return to the videos. That's either because you're not interested in the videos that I put out, or YouTube is just not letting you know that I'm uploading videos. Either way, I appreciate anybody who actually takes the time out to watch these videos. So I saw an article on, I believe, was this CBR? No, it's comicbook.com. And it's about the Incredible Hulk. Now, I will fully admit that I've never been the biggest Incredible Hulk guy. Like, he wasn't my go-to comic book. There's a couple issues growing up that I definitely bought, but the Hulk wasn't a character that I looked for like that. He didn't grab my interest as much as a lot of other characters. Nonetheless, the Hulk he's a character that, so if I was a comic book writer and I had to choose a character that I was going to write, like somebody came to me and said, okay, we have a spot, you can write a book, pick your book, what is it? I'm not going to lie, even though the Hulk is not my most favorite, it would probably be the Hulk because there's so much you can do with his character. And I think there's a lot that is still yet to be explored. Anyway, this article, now, again, this is from someone who was never really into the Hulk like that. So I can't tell you whether this article is accurate or not. But I will say this is a great story. It says this is the best Hulk story ever, and it isn't even close. Now, I don't know if it's not close. And I don't know if I would say this is the best Hulk story. Maybe it is. Somebody in the comments, let me know what you think. What about Immortal Hulk? Immortal Hulk, I haven't finished it. You know, I need to go ahead and finish that. I got so many books I need to finish. I'm bad about this. But Immortal Hulk was good. And I don't know if I would put this, maybe this does outclass the Immortal Hulk leaps and bounds. I don't know. I can't really say. Let's get into the article. This article is written by Mizel Duran. I think that's how you say the name. What makes the Hulk a difficult protagonist to grasp is also the thing that makes him an enduring pop culture icon. His anger is the character's defining characteristic, but it can be one note. Usually, anger is used as the final reaction to a long buildup, something boiling underneath the surface before unleashing in one big burst. However, because of the nature of Hulk's power, the character must always be angry. Hulk has to stay mad to access his power, or he is trapped as Bruce Banner. A three-dimensional character is typically defined as someone who has a variety of emotions and clear motivations, aspect that Hulk traditionally lacks. Now, I will say Bruce Banner, as smart as he is as a scientist, I would say that kind of makes up for what the article is kind of pointing out as like a flaw. I don't think it's a flaw that maybe he doesn't have as many different facets or angles as other characters do. I don't know that that's necessarily a problem. This might actually be one of those things that actually adds to the Hulk. Maybe this actually makes the Hulk a strange, a odd character, a different character, and maybe more complex, because what other character has this thing where anger is his deal? I know other characters have that, like Wolverine, kind of as part of their character, but this is a primary part of the Incredible Hulk, right? Like, without that anger, you don't have the Hulk. Hulk comic writers work around these issues by focusing more on Bruce Banner's persona of the hero. The late great Peter David added many multitudes to the character in his defining Incredible Hulk run, evolving the hero, into one of the most interesting figures in the Marvel universe. Nonetheless, Greg Pak chose to put the character's anger at the forefront with his 2007 World War Hulk series. Even though anger can be viewed as one note by analysts, Pak used the Hulk's anger as an outlet for readers to reflect their own resentment and passion. The world and life can be unfair, and Pak is permitting readers to feel angry through the Hulk. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. And they mentioned something in here about the art of World War Hulk. So let's take a look at that, because I have that on my Comixology, World War Hulk. So I was like, oh, let's look at some of that art, since it mentioned some of the art. Now, I'll tell you one panel. This panel right here, I really like. I like big splash panels with a lot going on. And there's another one where he faced off against Black Bolt that was really good. Let me see if I can get it. Where he jumped out and he pretty much told Black Bolt he didn't come here for a whisper. He wanted to hear him scream. Because in this one, you kind of see Black Bolt. Black Bolt is one of those characters that super duper powerful, almost too powerful to the degree that they can't really use his powers to their fullest extent, because it would just be unfair. It would just like, yeah, you're just out of here. But yeah, he said, I didn't come to hear for a whisper, because Black Bolt whispered at him and, nearly took him out. Yo, Hulk is no joke. And that's the thing. When Hulk is angry, man, he's pretty much unstoppable. Like, what are you going to do with this dude if he's angry? Yeah, you're not doing much. Okay, where was I at? It was down here. Yeah. World War Hulk is a direct follow-up to Pak's Planet Hulk storyline from the Incredible Hulk comics. Planet Hulk has Hulk blasted into space by the Illuminati, Marvel's secret group of the most powerful behind-the-scenes figures of Earth. The Jade Giant crashes on the alien planet Scar, which is under the rule of the tyrannical Red King. Hulk begins as a lowly gladiator before earning allies, rising in the ranks, defying the Red King, and falling in love. Hulk and his allies successfully overthrow the Red King, with Hulk becoming the new ruler of Scar. The Hulk had everything he could have dreamed of: allies that would die for him, a powerful wife, and a planet that sees him as a hero. All the Hulk's dreams crashed down at the end of Planet Hulk when the ship he crashed on caused an explosion so destructive that it ended up destabilizing Scar and killing most of its citizens, including Hulk's new wife. With the planet no longer habitable, Hulk blames the Illuminati for the destruction and heads back to Earth to take his revenge. World War Hulk has a great foundation to tell its story, with the character making his grand return to exact vengeance against the other heroes. World War Hulk was also released not long after the first Marvel Civil War, when heroes like Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic were at their most dubious. United States citizens were also increasingly jaded toward the U.S. government during the 2000s, with the Hulk's war on Earth serving as a metaphor of the unprecedented U.S. lashing out against those in authority. Yeah, sometimes comic books have a place with their social commentary, but I really didn't want to focus on that. It's just the fact that do you consider this the best Incredible Hulk story? I don't know. I would say I could definitely see this being a point that's made, but I don't know if I could just say this outright. And I don't know if I have the Hulk knowledge to say this outright. Now, I do like the World War Hulk storyline. I think it's great. This is one of those stories that made me realize just how complex Incredible Hulk is. I think this is the story where I realize, okay, I might have this character misunderstood, and there might be way more to the Incredible Hulk than I'm giving credit for. And I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, because when I was young, like I said, for the longest time, I was just like, Hulk is all right. But no, Hulk is a lot more than just all right. This is a great character. And now this is just me speaking, not as a writer. Obviously, I don't write comic books, but it kind of seems like Hulk would be an easy character to write for, only because it seems like the characters that you think you know so well, writers have an easier time getting to huge plot twists and going in directions you never thought they would go. So I don't know. Fans were ready for Hulk to enact revenge against the heroes and the US government for their actions. World War Hulk was the right story at the right time. Fans in the United States were ready to unleash their fury. Yo, sometimes you strike right when the iron is hot. And it's hard. The thing is, and with comic books, I would imagine this is the same way. You can't predict that. Like, you can read the tea leaves and you could probably say, okay, this is going on in the world. If I release a comic book like this will probably be received well. I tell you what I think is the best, what would get the best reception. I'm not going to say you necessarily abandon mentioning anything in the world, but I think the comic books that would get the best reception are comic books that, regardless of what's going on in the world, just tell a good story. Look, I'll be honest, when I'm reading comic books, I can care less about what's going on in the real world. This is my escape. The comic books are my escape pod. They always have been. Like, this is where I go when I'm like, all right, I'm getting out of everything that's going on around me. None of this matters. I'm going to my comic books to get some escapism on. I like my escapism sometimes. I'm not trying to escape all the time. We need to be rooted in reality. Stuff is going on. These are things we need to think about. But man, I like my escapism. Not gonna lie. Pack begins the story with the Hulk easily taking out Black Bolt off screen, perfectly establishing Hulk's new strength and raising the stakes throughout the comic. While Hulk takes up the villainous role of attacking Earth, readers sympathize, remain squarely with the Green Monster. We witness how much Hulk lost at the end of Planet Hulk and why his anger feels justified. And I tell you, that's the mark of a good writer. When you can clearly see, okay, Hulk is the villain, but yet the writer gets you to cheer for Hulk because on some level you connected with what happened in that story. Man, that's some great writing right there. It's really some good writing. Yet Pack makes it clear that anger, while it can be a beneficial emotion in the correct circumstances, can also be toxic and destructive. Hulk's rage and destruction are increasingly tragic as the story progresses, with Hulk not letting up his fury for even a second. Nevertheless, Hulk has nobility in his actions, as the Jade Giant refuses to take a life throughout the story, even against the Illuminati. Yeah, the complexities like that definitely add another spice to the story. And the World War Hulk, I think my personal opinion, like I said, this is just kind of like an outsider perspective, never really being a huge Hulk fan. I think I could easily see people who are really into Hulk looking at this story and going, yeah, this is one of the best. One of the best. And probably arguing that, yeah, this is the best. We would support that. I'm not saying that for a fact, but I'm saying I could see people saying that. This is World War Hulk is one of those stories. Like I said, even not being a Hulk guy, I knew if you're going to read any Hulk story, if you're going to learn about any Hulk story, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, yeah, those are the ones to learn from. So I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll post a link to the article in the video description and you can go check it out. What do you think? What do you think is the best Incredible Hulk run? Is it World War Hulk or is it something else? Let me know in the comments.